Welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel, everyone. This is Rich making another video on XRP today, as usual. I therefore hope that everyone is enjoying their day today. We're going to talk about XRP, no matter where you are in the world. And I must begin with something from the captain of XRP. In a single day, 500 million XRP traded. However, the cost decreases. What's actually happening? Even the authors of this essay are unsure of the situation. Right now, everyone is speculating. Some people claim that those dark ponds are where all of this is taking place. Others claim that institutions are making covert purchases in the background. Some suspect that the exchanges are transferring XRP between locations. However, no one can say for sure. With last week's major announcements, we now know that there are early indications of institutional adoption. We now know that they intend to lock down XRP and use it for its intended purpose. That is all that is actually necessary at this time, since even if XRP is currently moving and there is no price movement, this will eventually be reflected in one way or another, because if they are purchasing it and locking it up, it will eventually cause XRP to become scarce. If the overall value of the cryptocurrency market reaches $35 trillion, 0 cents, this is the price of one XRP. Many individuals are currently discussing the prediction that the value of the cryptocurrency industry would reach 35 trillion. They claim that this would result in a $22.00 price for XRP. Since market capitalization is irrelevant, I never like to base anything about XRP utility is important. Additionally, supply and demand will be observed. There will be a shortage of XRP. Take a look at its intended use. They want to add tokenized assets worth between $30 trillion, 0 cents, and $50 trillion, 0 cents to the XRP ledger, and you have our checks. When XRP is trading at $2, 0 cents, do you really think it can move those assets? Not in my opinion. Additionally, there will be a significant increase in both domestic and international payments with ISO at the same time. After that, you begin to examine micropayments. After that, you begin to observe the institutional adoption that is taking place and how they are securing XRP. Many people continue to believe that market capitalization will be important. You don't have any stock market investments. With minimal transparency about its operations, Ripple's private ledger is intended for institutional use and runs independently of the public XRP ledger. This is really flawed. If they don't get together soon, I expect the mother of all class action cases. DigitalG is the source of this. He is arguing that if the price of XRP is different between the private and public ledgers, Ripple should be sued in a class action. So the private ledger gets its name because everything that occurs on it is confidential. You genuinely believe that these banks want everyone to be able to see what they're doing, what transactions they're doing, and what information people are sharing? Not at all. The public ledger exists for this reason. XRP will no longer be available in 2 locations at 2 separate prices. The banks are still in the testing stage, which is why we are not witnessing these significant price spikes. I emphasize this because I viewed the private ledger and the price of XRP is in the 1,000, as so many people keep reporting. That might have been a test pricing for XRP, but other people are also stating the same thing. Opium. The price of XRP will rise as soon as these banks open. It goes without saying that you couldn't move all this value with inexpensive XRP, but people are unaware that private implies private banks don't want to have everything visible to everyone. Listen to David as he created the secret ledger. Shot, it's really sexy when you see the bank, and we do, but they move extremely slowly, so there won't be any success stories that ripple down, and it's difficult to convince them to pass the gains on to their clients, because doing so puts them at risk and exposes their inefficiencies, because a press release from a bank is a huge deal. We initially concentrated a lot on banks, but we found that they were simply very slow to act. We say, hey, we want to actually move billions of dollars now, and they respond, yeah, we kind of don't, if all they want is a news release. Additionally, he stated that it would demonstrate the bank's issues. Here is an earlier film of David Schwartz discussing how banks were becoming interested in Ripple's technology and how they were signing up to use both XRP and RippleNet technology in the future. However, 2025 has arrived. Stablecoins and CBDCs are beginning to gain traction. Smoke is the source of this. Therefore, things change once the central bank digital currencies are active on the XRP ledger. In addition, ISO is almost here. As everyone knows, the banks must adopt the new communication systems. Thus, they might begin using blockchain technology as soon as they adopt the new messaging system. They might begin using XRP or something similar in those messages. A lot of liquidity that is locked up globally could be released if they began using XRP for that that on-demand liquidity, unlock the Nostro Vostro accounts, which was Brad Garlinghouse's dream. And I believe ISO will be the first to do that. No more waits, major confirmation, straight from Swift. The ISO immigration deadline of November 2025 is set in stone and will not be moved. Thus, November is when this must go online. In July, the Fed will go online. We'll probably get our first glimpse of how that will impact these cryptocurrencies at that point. Right now, I don't anticipate any significant events on the first day. I believe it will start off slowly because you need to get a few banks to utilize ISO and XRP and RippleNet's technology to become acclimated to the messaging system and figure it out. The game-changing moment will come when they recognize that they can reduce the cost of cross-border payments. The disturbance is going to occur there. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan was constantly terrified of that, because if you take money straight out of his pocket, once you remove the costs, additionally, certain cash apps that employ ISO messaging will be using blockchain because they are innovators, even if the banks don't use it. Along with crypto, since they are new, other people will notice and begin using that service automatically. Therefore, the banks will be forced to use this technology. Only a matter of time will pass. It will happen, even if it doesn't happen right away, because all you need is one bank to gain an advantage over the others. That's it. The game is over. The network effect occurs. The majority of people don't realize how important the Internet of Value really is. A brand new international financial system is emerging. Derivatives, payments, and real-world assets are all being transferred to the blockchain. The potential for XRP to capture even 10% of this growing industry would be significant. Additionally, Ripple was constantly targeting the derivative sector. From the beginning, that was the first thing they aimed to record. And all of us will be retired if they only managed to get a tiny portion of that. It would occur so quickly. XRP's market capitalization is currently displayed. Today, it's almost $130 billion, 0 cents. Then Hidden Road appears, $3 trillion, 0 cents worth of transactions. That will significantly increase XRP's value. This isn't going to happen in 2030. And then you start looking at tokenized real world assets. Archhax is operational as of right now. All they need is regulations. That will be the game changer once restrictions are in place. Suddenly the dates have been changed to 2026 and 2027 instead. 2030 is not here anymore. Next up will be the derivatives market. But as XRP holders, this will be the moment we've been waiting for since the beginning. Everything is on the way. It was finally beginning to come together. We are no longer in 2021. We are no longer in 2019. In the year 2025, the world is changing. Technology is developing. Instant gratification, real-time payments, and real-time everything are the main concerns. Their goal is to make investing opportunities available to everyone on the earth. Retail investors are now included in addition to accredited investors. Tokenomics. What is it? How value is designed in crypto ventures. Here are the main components of tokenomics. Given that there are 100 billion XRP, some people would now quarrel and sulk. I used to ask, how do you know 100 billion is even enough? Because there are 8 billion people on the earth, and SRP is designed to benefit everyone. The token supply comes first. However, supply is usually divided into 3 groups: maximum supply, circulating supply, and total supply. You must now keep in mind that Ripple has XRP and escrow. And because Ripple uses XRP and escrow wisely, I appreciate that they have them. They also make acquisitions that will help XRP grow and become more useful. Token distribution. Tokens are distributed by projects to many stakeholders, including the development team, early investors, community rewards, and future ecosystem expansion. Trust is fostered by equitable and transparent distribution. Now, there will be disagreements over distribution.